Hey, Mark Morris, TotalBeautyBroke.com, TotalBeautyBroke.com. I thought I'd talk to you guys a little. It took me 5 years to pass my civil engineering test. Started it. How many of you guys, raise your hands if you guys are still trying to pass the test, or maybe 1 or 2 sections away of passing like an exam where you can get your license. Raise your hand. Subscribe. I'm a civil engineer. It took me 5 years to finally pass my test. Started in July 1995. Finally got the degree, the certificate, February 2000. So basically 5 years. You know how it's hard to fail for 5 years and just keep going. Let me know what you think. You're frustrated, you want to quit, you keep asking people all the different strategies they use to pass, and you find out it doesn't work. So let me give you a couple of things to think about that I use to help me. And what even makes it worse is when you have your girlfriend or someone you're dating putting you down, calling you stupid. Hey, honey, I'm just trying to get this little certificate so I can make a little more money, put myself in a position to get promoted. Or if I go to another job, they'll give me an extra 5 or 10% because I'll have the registration. Raise your hand. Subscribe. Think if you're failed 2 or 3 years and you have a girlfriend telling you you're never going to pass. That is not fun. That's why I ended up getting rid of her. And she wondered why I tried to sleep, why I was sleeping around and stuff. If you hear that for 2 or 3 years, you're like, hey man, I just go sleep with everyone else. And if I get caught, I get caught. I don't care. I need to end this. So subscribe. But I did it. I didn't quit. 3 things I want to tell you that I did. And 3 things I did. 1, I made sure I signed up for the next exam. Right now I'm working on my senior exam. So I found my mistakes. I've been doing this for the past 2. Failing. Now they revamped the process. Now that I looked at the exact questions and I went back and read through some of my paperwork, realized I wasn't as specific as I thought, or I thought I could be a little bit general and they would figure it out. I talked to this one guy. I did doing an internship, and he talked to me, and I was like, you know what? Now that makes sense, man. They don't even want to think anymore. You got to basically tell them, hey, my name is Mark Morris. I worked on this project at Oak Valley Parkway, I-10 freeway. I installed 2 traffic lights for the on and off ramps to the I-10 East. I installed a crash cushion. We did 2 new ADA curb ramps for the pedestrians across the bridge, and we expanded the drainage from the new work that we've done. That's how specific you have to be, man. That was this mistake I was making. So subscribe. So for you guys taking these exams, 3 things you need to do. 1, always, once you fail, sign up for the next exam. That's the worst part for me. It's $250, $275. I used to work at Target to get the extra money for an exam. I worked at Macy's. I worked as a trash man just to get the extra money. Because it's not just the exam you're paying for. You also got to pay for the other review courses again to kind of get your mind going again. I did that. Number 2, do like I'm doing right. Study. This is it. Pass or win or lose, pass or fail. This is it. Lock yourself away 1 to 2 hours a day, 1 or 2 hours a week, and just do this. I did this for 5 years. Just locked my way. I lived in a Sycamore Lane. Locked myself away in my apartment. Closed all the blinds. I had bought myself a drafting desk. I was in a corner facing the kitchen. 2 and 3 hours every weekend for 3 years. Solving problems, solving engineering problems, solving hydraulic problems, solving seismic problems until you just understand it. It becomes it's in your brains. That's number 1. Number 2. And then number 3, just you got to stay away. Don't worry about how other people said they passed the exam. You have to come up with your own way. Your own way is what gives you confidence going into the exam that you can duplicate. Some things people are probably right. They can pass the test 1, 2, or 3 minutes, study 2 or 3 hours. I've never been that lucky, man. I don't know how people do it. It takes me 2 or 3 months to finally figure stuff out. So subscribe. So one thing I want you to work on is signing up for the next exam, signing up for the next review course. That's all I want you to think about for you guys trying to pass the exam. Subscribe. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe to my channel. And some of you guys who are in debt or if you've been paying a lot of credit cards, go to TotalBeautyBroke.com. I sell a program for $35 because when I'm not in engineering, I do I do sales stuff. The reason I got into sales is because I never passed my engineering exam. So I went back for my MBA. Now I got an MBA, so now I do engineering and work in sales. So I'm those are my 2 favorite. Sales is number 1, engineering is 2. Reason I like sales, because sales gives you quick money, man. Engineering comes and goes, and now with this AI stuff, I don't think the only thing that's going to be great about being an engineer is like you're going to have to, we'll talk about that later. I want to distract you. So you guys don't subscribe, or go to tooldtobetebroke.com, tooldtobetebroke.com, buy that little lesson I have on paying down your credit cards by knowing what your interest rate is, knowing how to calculate how much is your minimum payment. So try that. That's just like for you guys in debt who need to, guys in debt who have like some extra money, but you're like ready to get out of debt. So subscribe. So let me know if this helped you. But if you haven't passed an exam like me, so now I'm going from not passing my senior engineer exam, my registration now, to taking that to like the strategy to see what I can do to pass this engineer exam and get promoted. But I also want to still stay with the business stuff as well. So that's why I'm talking to you now, because everything goes together. Subscribe. Let me know if this helped you. Try that lesson. And then I'll go into detail on number 2 and number 3 later.